Man, a note to self about reducing the audio volume on that intro as well. All right. So welcome to Thursday, a busy day in the comic art world with so many things going on with the heritage auctions starting today, their big signature auction, and as well the I guess ongoing comic link auction that's happening right now. That's an odd night for a focused auction. I did not talk to Josh about why they chose to have their focused auction end on a Thursday, let alone the same Thursday as the Heritage Signature auction starting. But I know it's ongoing, so I know a lot of you guys are multitasking this evening, and I appreciate the fact that you're tuning into the show tonight. Let's see who we got in there. Scott, thank you very much. Nice to see you as well. Let's see, who do we got in here? John and Mr. Easy Go Lucky. And Jeff did not buy that very expensive Doctor Strange cover for just over $400,000. Thank you for confirming and denying the rumors that were out there, Jeff. And Mikhail, everybody's out there. And I see, you can see I tried to start another Battissimo giveaway. We'll see if it actually starts to work or not. I might have to hit that giveaway thing in the chat one more time just to make sure it works. But so as you can tell, I am well rested. I am finally caught up with my sleep, not caught up with my work, and that's a good thing. I'm pretty happy to have finally put Comic Art Live essentially behind me for the time being. But I have a long list of things on my to-do list, and I've got several emails I have to get back. If you were an exhibitor, you know you got an email from me yesterday that outlined your booth stats, and then I had to correct it because I had a mistake in the first email. But if you got that, a lot of people sent me feedback. I also got some updated sales stats, which we'll be able to review later in the outline of the show tonight. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with the way things went over the weekend. I hope everybody else was as well. And actually, I see everybody's trying to enter. I'm going to see if I can hop over there and kickstart it again with the thing I'm supposed to do in the chat. Let's see. This is what I did last time, and it worked. Just doing that. I did it before the thing started, and I kind of tried that before, but we'll see. If it doesn't, I wouldn't hammer it until you see somebody get a reply that they are actually entered, because that's when we know for sure it is actually working. And I apologize. Like I said, I was all set to get a new system last time we tried this, and then it started working, and now here we are again. It's not working, but I'll keep my eye on it. I'll leave that tab open in another window, and when I start seeing names fill it, then I'll know. I'll let everybody know as well. So, and everybody sees the right way to do it with the exclamation point enter when it works. So I thought I would just go jump into the CAF update, honestly, just because I'd like to get that out of the way so we can talk more about the show over the weekend and anything that everybody here would like to speak about. Yep, Marcus, you're watching C-Link too. I was going to watch it, and then I kind of forgot about it starting at 8, and I haven't been able to look at it at all. But I can tell you Scott Wingo's entry, whenever he did it, actually just popped in there. John Brown. All right, so it is starting to work. James Siegel. So I see these happened. All these submissions happened earlier. So it looks like it's just catching up now. So all right, it's all the way down to Matt Moore, Chris Edwards, Sam Maroney, Rick Welch, Chris Snork. All right, good. It's working. So yeah, so I wanted to hop into the weekly update and get that out of the way so we can talk about more fun stuff, like things going on in the hobby. So we will start off, as we always do, with the dealer update. And dealers haven't been very busy the last couple of weeks, and that was working towards for Anthony, because he was winning in the overall sales category for the last couple of weeks. Sorry about my phone. But even though this was a down week for dealers in general, Anthony fell just, less than $5,000 short of having the trifecta, 3 consecutive weeks winning the dealer update. So let's just take a look at the facts and figures from this period. It was the period, of course, November 8th through the 14th. So this covered all the way through the weekend of Comic Art Live, and of course affected the LA show, which was on Sunday as well. So I kind of anticipated that some dealers weren't going to be updating their sales, and I think that's probably true, just judging by the booth numbers and things that I know that did sell during the show. I don't think most of those sales are reflected in this week's update for the original Comic Art dealers. So maybe we'll see uptick next week. But 188,000 was the sales figures for that period, this last period for dealers, and the prior period was 196. So both down weeks in general. But let's take a look at the top 6 items from dealers this past week. Now, first up is, well, 188,775, as you can see. This first artwork is actually a complete 8-page story from Murder Falcon, from a Skybound X piece. And it was by Daniel Warren Johnson, sold for $25,000 from Felix. And then next up is this classic Power Man and Iron Fist 51 cover by Ernie Chan. This was sold by Glenn, panel page art. Asking price on this one was $18,500. And a nice combo here with Byrne, Rubenstein, and Olaf. This is Scarlet Witch and Vision, of course. And this was sold by Albert for the asking price of $9,000. Then Mr. Berkey sold this one, Romita Man Original Art. $8,500 was his asking price on this Frank Miller Sin City Hell and Back #6, page 27 splash from 1999. Final 2 pieces. This one was also sold by Albert, Jim Lee Scott Williams. This is from Detective issue 1000, page 2. Asking price was $6,500. And finally, someone I don't think we've mentioned ever on the update before. This is Comic Art House. Congratulations to them. $4,000 asking price on this Megan Hetrick Harley Quinn the Animated Series cover. Issue 3, issue 3 page cover. Okay, there you have it. And Comic Art House exhibited during Comic Art Live, and they were pleasantly surprised. I don't know how they really didn't know that we were doing these shows in the past, and I don't know how. He's on all the mailing lists that I send out. I have a special web client / advertiser list, so he's been on all those, but was not aware. So he did that, and he actually had some pretty good sales during the show, so I was happy for him. And I agree, Samuel, that was a perfect Sin City page without question. So yes, Samuel, he did have a pricey page. Very, very, very true. I think that there's definitely a fair amount of stuff that got dropped in Albert's recent art update. So hey, I got new glasses too, by the way, if you were wondering what happened. It's not didn't cut my hair, changed diet or anything crazy, but I was getting eye strain with my bifocals, and I finally decided to do something about it. So I got a pair of glasses that are just meant to be for 2 to 3 feet away from whatever source I'm reading, and I decided to get them bigger just so I was tired of like tipping my head with the bifocals, and I think this is a better thing for me. I've had my eyes have been bothering me, of course, all day since I just got them, but hopefully by next week I'll be feeling much more normal. But it definitely is cool to actually have everything on my desk in focus for a change. So, all right. Yes, Rick has reminded everybody to smash the like button for me, everybody. As Nick would say, it helps my algorithm. All right, let's take a look at auction houses. Auction houses had a stellar week. Both eBay and the weekly heritage auctions did really well, right around $150,000 for each. eBay was at $155. Actually, Heritage was at 140, and then Heritage also had that the Garfield art auction that was held at the same time. Jim Davis art, of course, and that auction was, what did it total out at? $167,000. So combined for all 3 of those auctions that we would have tracked in our market data, the total was $462,000 for that time period. Pretty good, because that was over and above the $379 from the prior week. So let me get that top 6. I'm not going to put any of the Jim Davis artwork out there. You can check that out yourself if you want to. First 3 are going to be from eBay, and second 3 will be from Heritage. So there you go, $462,728. eBay had just over 1,000 sales to make up for their $155,000. This first piece is a Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein Alive page from issue number 3, page 13, sold for $7,877. And then next up, this was 8-page story, Buddy Saunders, Fantasy Illustrated number 1, sold for $2,900. And finally, a Greg Horn remarked comic, sold for $2,513, and had a lot of bidders on it from Infinity Score number 1. So next up is Heritage. They had 140,000 in sales total from 272 auctions. This first one, awesome. George Perez, Joe Sinnott, fantastic for 164 page, sold for $8,400. And this is was a drawing inside of I forget which book, but Jack Kirby, of course, the FF with Dr. Doom and a Hulk with a sucker for $6,000 total. And then another Kirby piece, this one with Joe Simon. This is from Western Tales, issue 31, page 4. Final selling price on this one was $5,520. And I can tell you that, the top 3 sales for the Garfield auction, there were 62 lots that sold $167,000. And the top 3 lots, the top lot was a calendar illustration. So it was a specialty piece sold for $9,000. And then there were 2 other pieces. One was a prelim, oddly enough. I'd have to go back and look. It's probably a set of prelims, I would imagine, $7,200. And then there was it's listed as a Garfield, the Knight in Shining Armor complete storybook paintings. That one sold for $7,200. Again, not shown, but they are out there. Yes, that F4 panel was really good. Did Bill buy the bill cover? No, we'll talk about that. I did not buy the bill cover. That was not in the cards. I was not going to buy it and take it from somebody who probably was going to want it more than, well, I wanted a lot, of course, but no, I didn't buy it. But I did email with Jim today from the Hero Initiative, and also with Nick, and Jim's very happy that we're making that donation to them, as am I. But yeah, I'll talk about the Indiegogo campaign probably after we do the popular art. But yeah. Let's see. And Harry, what'd you say? That Western Tales, actually, Boys Ranch was a surprise for me. As far as the price, yeah, that, or just the fact that it was out there. And Harry, we got to talk though. As same with Chris, with Wedding, we got to get the CAF University stuff started. Now that I've got Comic Art Live behind me, I promise I will be in touch with both of you next week, and we'll get the CAF University stuff going. Yeah, the price. I agree. I would agree. But Simon Kirby, everything's harder and harder to get. The Sunday alumni were all upset. No one told us the drop was happening. Oh, well, you're right. It kind of got rushed out the door a little bit today. I wasn't sure when it was going to happen. They had a tentative time in place, but they did not. But we didn't know exactly when. I didn't have the email prepped to go out to the list, and so I'm very sorry that I didn't get it out I should have given it out to the alumni first. Samuel mentions that Ramita piece that sold, and I can confirm for you that it was not bought by Mike. I did not ask him if he knew who bought it, but because I was surprised at the price too. But classic piece of Ramita Senior painted art, so it is what it is. We will talk about that next Wednesday, because I can tell you that Albert was not available next Tuesday to do a Heritage Signature Auction recap. I was emailing with him today, and he's got a basketball game to go to that evening. So we're going to do it on Wednesday night, since Wednesday's open because of Dueling Dealers being on Monday. So we will have a show on Wednesday, and it will be the Heritage Auction recap, where we'll get to talk about that and the Doctor Strange cover, and I'm sure a lot more pieces from the current signature auction that is underway. Scott, I know, should have auctioned the cover. We probably would have done better if we had, but we just wanted to have a fair price on it, and benefit the Hero Initiative as we could have. And so yes, but you're right, we probably could have done a little bit better on that one. I apologize, but hey, hopefully people will pick up the variant covers as anybody sees fit. I'm actually going to buy one of myself to do the sketch cover. Just so I will say that I'm going to do that, because I think that would be pretty funny to have one of those in my collection. So let's move over to the popular artwork so we can get that out of the way and talk, just kick things around after that. But the popular artwork, I picked 26 artworks this time around, and just because I had a hard time whittling the list down, there was a lot of really nice pieces posted, and I just couldn't help myself. Here we go with the first one. First piece, of course, is Jim Lee, Scott Williams. This is in the collection of Gene P, and it's Uncanny X-Men 258, page 14 from 1990. That is one heck of a page. And then Aranga I can't help but love these Brian Stelfreeze pieces, and this is a great Mystique painting. Congratulations on adding this one to your collection. All right, next up, Paul P. continues his dominance of the 1990 cover artwork range. This is by Steve Lytle, and it's from MCP number 116 from 1992. And this is a Jim of Food piece, obviously, and it's in Cobby's collection, and it's entitled Operation Ivy. Love it. Congratulations, Cobby. And next up, we've got this New Avengers Illuminati #2 splash page from page 12 from that issue. Jason Hussa was the owner of this one, Jim Chung, and Mark Morales. And then Gab R, and I believe its first name is that collector is Gabriel. This is, of course, Alex Raymond, and it's a Flash Gordon Sunday from 1937. I actually hadn't been in Gab's gallery for a while, so I would highly encourage everybody to check it out. I will link to it in the description below. This is from Foggy Bottoms collection, John Buscema, Frank Giacoya. This is from Prince Namor, Submariner #4. Next up, Duke Fleet. I wanted to put this piece in there because we don't see a lot of this traditional kind of illustration artwork. This is from 1961. The artist is John Falter, and it's from the Saturday Evening Post cover, and it's a beauty. Thanks for posting that, Duke. And this is unmistakably Jack Kirby 2001, of course. From the movie adaptation, this is in Glenn Crane's collection. Inks by Frank Giacoya. And here we've got a Marvel Universe versus the Punisher #1 variant cover by Goran Parlov, collection, Chris Snorik. And another Paul P. from another cover, 1992. This is MCP 116. Artist is Sean McManus. And I'm a sucker for anything by Eduardo Rizzo. This is in the collection of Tyler T., Kingpin, and the Spider-Man. And Pat L. makes the list once again. This is a Legends of the Dark Knight #15 cover. The artist on this one, not one I'm familiar with, is Belen Ortega, but I'm going to check them out now that I have the name in front of me. And this is in the collection of Jim D'Amico, Paulo Siqueira, and this is Hulk versus the Thing. I think this one should make it to a Dueling Dealers show thumbnail in the future. And here is a historic West Coast Avengers #1 page by Al Milgrom and Joe Sinnott in the collection of Rick W. And I like this page a lot. I just like the imagery and the storytelling. This is in Rubens' collection, Tom Grummett and Dennis Rodier, Adventures of Superman 566. And Pat L. again, this is Marvel Masterpieces 2007, Thanos versus the Silver Surfer. And it is Steve Rude, of course. And here's another piece of history, Terry and the Pirates. It's a strip from 1936 in the collection of Jeff Singh by Milton Caniff, of course. Lovely, lovely daily there. And Tony DeZuniga. This is in the collection of Bruno Stachel. And this is a golden red Sonia, sorry. Should be able to pronounce that better. Next up, a Dylan Dog cover, something we don't have enough of on CAF. This is in the collection of Geo Scarp, and the artist, of course, is Angelo Stano. And this is in Mickey Anamantadu's collection, Sal Buscema and Danny Bulandini. This is from Volume 2 of the Eternals, Issue 9, and it's the title page splash. And Sal's brother, John, Wolverine #25, page 17. This is from 1990, collection of A.E. Beauty. And classic Gene Colan Daredevil 89 page. This is page 19 from that issue in the collection of Raphael Amat, Tom Palmer inks. And final two pieces. This is in Ronald Wentz collection, Arthur Adams Secret Avengers #25 cover. And not a very big scan, but I love this image, so it was due to be in my update. And finally, another just page. I just really like the panel face expressions. Chris Sprouse, pencils, Carl Story inks. This is from Legionnaires #1, collection of Brandon Coffey. And there you have it. My 26 picks of the night. So yes, good evening, Goo. Nice to have you here. And yes, that was a big whoa on the Kniff. that was a great piece, and Jeff's collection just continues to get better and better, doesn't it? So yeah, very impressive. I love his I love what Jeff's got. I mean, he's got one of the more amazing, well-rounded classic collections of anybody that is on CAF. He's wide ranging. He covers so many different time periods, and he also collects a lot of European artwork too. So definitely a collection that if you ever want to like just get a really like a world view and a vast time span, his is one to just kind of browse through his gallery and just check it all out. Yep. Thank you, Victor. I agree. And yeah, Sprouse love. I love Chris Sprouse's artwork. I've never owned anything by him, but I mean he's fantastic. So, and Johnny, little late arrivals for everybody, probably watching the Comic Link auction, I imagine, right? Maybe. Or maybe not. Oh yeah, the giveaway. Oh, the giveaway. Yeah, the giveaway is for a T-shirt tonight. I'm sorry, I did forget because it didn't announce it in the chat. It's another T-shirt giveaway, and which reminded me that I was so behind last week that I forgot to order Ron Shepard, who won it last week. I forgot to order his, so I apologize to Ron if he's out there, because I forward them the tracking information as soon as the order is placed. But I will take care of his and whomever gets one tonight. So. Cheers. Let's see. Have I framed the Thor yet? Nope, I have not. I actually have not framed anything in quite a while. So no, but it is in a place of prominence in the cabinet over there, right at the top. Because I like to look at that one and a few other pieces that I've gotten recent. And yes, Comic Link is going on right now. And honestly, I know we had a lot of fun when we did the watch party that one time, and I really want to do those again. But the last, for one, they don't want me to do a watch party on the featured auctions, and that's okay. I don't mind. But they, the focused ones are fine. But I think the last two focused auctions have occurred on an odd night, like a night when we were already doing something else. Maybe I already had an interview going on or something along those lines. So there will be another focused auction Comic Link watch party in our future. I just don't know when. Maybe the next one. Hopefully it'll fall on a night that doesn't conflict with everything else we had going on, because that was a really good time. One of the more fun, just easygoing, just checking out artwork with a bunch of people. Because you guys do this anyway. If you're not doing it live on the stream, I know you guys are hanging out in Facebook chat groups doing it. I know. So there you have that. But and see, Alberto, yeah, I'll have to check everything out. I always get a report from Josh after the auction as far as like how the sales went. So this is one auction I really did not take a close look at what all was in it, just with everything going on with the show and everything. I didn't have a lot of time to check it out, but it is what it is. The prices are where they are. All right, so CAF update is out of the way. Now, I don't have a slide or anything to talk about this one, but don't forget that on Saturday, I do have a special show with Jiggy Cruz from Next Comic Art again. We're going to have another kind of party with several of his artists in attendance. There will be, he gave me kind of a run. I know it's going to be a lot of art. There'll be more art than the last time we did it, and more artists will probably be coming in to be a part of it. So I'm not sure, it's probably going to have to focus a lot more on the selling side of it than everything else, but I'm going to have my list from him tomorrow of what all will be available. But I think it could be upwards of 30 to 40 pieces of artwork and all new stuff. I think last time there were a few sale items. Maybe there'll be a few of that this time, but I believe everything that is coming in, you probably won't have seen before. And we're going to make it fun because there's a lot of announcements that Jiggy's been holding back that he can't wait to kind of spring on everybody. Some of his guys are getting some very interesting projects that I think people who follow some of Jiggy's artists will be really, really pleased about. And I know I was when I heard about him. And so we're going to make it kind of a little bit of a PR fun show, but at the same time, there'll be a lot of art that's going to be dropping at the same time. So be ready for that. I'll probably throw a mailing out tomorrow once I have a little bit more details on what exactly he's bringing. So I won't show any of that artwork, but I'll at least tease what some of it is. And there will be I'll put it in the Friday mailing that I send out, and then I'll do a special mailing to promote it as well. And but again, good time. I like hanging out with Jiggy. He's fun. He's got a great he's always high spirits, right? And he loves the hobby. He picked up one of those auction pieces in the Paulo Rivera panel too. I think he got the Spider-Man piece, so I have to thank him for that as well. Everything that kind of keeps the commerce rolling during Comic Art Live is a good thing, and so I'm very happy. Oh yeah, and yes, Paulo Rivera on the upcoming Spider-Man project. Yeah, I know he's. You could tell he was pretty excited about that when he was talking about it on the panel. So I'm sure it's going to be darn amazing. Uh, yeah, you never know, Scott. You just never know. I don't have all the details yet either, but there was a slide that they put out, and I know there will be Mannix art. That's for sure. I don't know how many pieces will be there, but he's one of my favorites out there today. And Jiggy let me know. I was actually the guy who bought in the U.S. outside of the Philippines who bought the first piece of art from him too. So I was like, wow, that's cool. I did not know that, but I bought it right when the last show started because I saw it and I was like, dang, that guy's awesome. So all right, getting jiggy with it, yes. All right, so let's see. I've got all right, but yes, please tune in on Saturday. It is going to be a great show, and there will be great art, and it is, as everybody who saw the last show knows, it was all very affordable. It was, there wasn't really. I don't even think there was anything at the $1,000 mark, right? I think the highest price piece might have been. Well, I could be wrong. I don't remember, but I remember one of the Mannix pieces was $800. One of those tarot card pieces. So I would assume we might see at least one or two of those make it into this art drop as well. So yeah, it'll be a good time. All right. So I wanted to talk about. Well, might as well. I don't want to talk about Dueling Dealers yet. We'll talk about the Comic Art Live stats and things, and with that, we can at least mention the Indiegogo campaign that I screwed everybody out of getting a shot at the cover. I do apologize for that. That's my fault. But hey, at the end of the day, if you subscribed to the like we were asking you, like Nick and I had asked everybody subscribe to the Indiegogo so you would get an announcement. I know that the moment that thing turned on, it pushed out an announcement to everybody who had subscribed, because I got an email, right? I think it was literally at like 2:02 p.m. Eastern when it went live, and the cover actually sold by, I don't know, it was pretty quick, probably at least by 2:30. But yeah, I can at least show it to you. There it is. Not a whole lot of backers going on. I did send out a mailing about it this afternoon as well. But anybody that wants to support it, please do. I hope that I hope it does well for Nick. And like I mentioned, the cover, which was I have an image of that thing around here still. Oh yeah. This was the full image for the cover. It is all, it was penciled, and then there's the inked version. Obviously inks over pencils on this one. So that one did sell for $1,500 to some lucky Comic Art Live fan, and they will be the owner of this when everything ships. I'm not in control of that. Dynamite handles all those sorts of things, but I am envious. Somebody does own that now, not myself. But like I mentioned, as long as it ends up on CAF, I will be happy. That is the main thing right there. So, and all proceeds on that $1,500 sale go to the Hero Initiative. So I'm thankful that Nick was willing to do that. And again, had an email from McLaughlin today. They're very happy that we chose to make them be the recipient of that. So, so yeah. So there you go. So anyways, yes. So the variant cover, as with most Dynamite types of exclusive stuff that they do, I know they have different versions that they put out there, and then they do have some. See, look, you can get a sketch cover with me on it. So I'm going to buy one of those. I think they're $125. Where was that at? Oh yeah, right here. So that is that's out there. I'm going to get one of those, and I know that there's like a cheaper option. The remarked version is $75, where it's just drawn on the cover, but might not be as. It's kind of hard to see on this one because it's a little small. Well, right there. I guess there's one right there too. So that is out there, and here I'll just put the link in the chat. I'll make sure that I get the description of the YouTube and Facebook info out there, so you can get the link in there. The Unholy Bill, yeah, exactly. How do you like that, Marcus? Man, it made me laugh when that was the name of the story as well. So, all right, so there you have it. Support this thing, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, there could be some revenue sharing, depends on how well it does, and any money that comes in to me, I will add that to the Hero Initiative. as well. So there's nothing that we're profiting from all this. It's just we want to keep, after doing 4 of these shows, it was time that, and it was just time for the show to have something that could be a part of it, that we could remember all this, the fun we've had for the last 18 months. And I just, this was fun. All Nick's idea at the end of the day. I mean, I told him I wanted to do a variant cover, but he was the one who said, well, we should just put you on the cover if it's going to be about the show. And so, all right, so there it is. And I'm wearing a Dueling Dealer shirt on top of that. So ties into the show. So with a golf glove grip. Yeah, I didn't know how to swing a sword. I could right now. Jeff, it was because the $1,500 was for the cover on there. So the other 818 is for the, is really for just book related purchases. So that's what that's for. Yep. But no matter what the end, final number is, this is going to happen no matter what, because we had talked about, I want to have some so I can use them as giveaways in the future as well. And so yeah, it's not, and it reached, there was only a modest $500 funding goal anyway to get it started. Nick and I talked about, we're going to do this no matter where we end up, and we're going to make sure everybody's very happy with it. But I wanted to have some, and I think a few other people that I've talked to, we're going to actually pick up a few extra ones and use them as gifts and stuff in the future. I think, Anthony had mentioned he wanted to do that. So yeah, so those numbers are definitely going to go up, but please support it. It's all, and at the end of the day, good for the site and good for the hobby, good for the show. And it's all good PR for all of us. So there is that. So I'm going to just take that out of there for now. And again, the link's in the chat, and I will make sure that the link ends up in the show description by the time I get done here. Do the signed copies come with a COA? I'm not sure about that, Marcus. I would assume so, because I think that's typically how they've how they typically handle it. But I can, I'll ask Nick for sure. Make Anthony buy the metal covered ones. I don't think that's going to happen. But and I don't know who got the cover. I didn't think to ask. I assume that if I asked Nick, he could probably tell me. But I don't know. I was kind of thinking it'd be better I didn't know and just have it appear on CAF one day and be surprised. But I'm assuming it wasn't anybody that is in the alumni chat, since Jason said they were mad at me for not letting them know ahead of time. So see, Mikhail, I don't know who got the cover. All right, I'm gonna have to ask. See, Jason's letting it. I know, guys, I'm so sorry. I should have let you guys know. At least then I would have had a chance to be able to go after it one day myself. And yeah, okay, Mikhail. So you two tarot cards. Okay, I've seen the two, and yeah, they're gonna. And the one was in the promo image, but I know what the other one is, and you don't want to miss the show, because it's pretty awesome. If we actually here at CAF HQ 2 days ago, I had my well pump die, and and I've been living in this house for 20 years, and I've never had a problem with the water. But we're out in the country, so we have a well and a septic, and I've had the septic pumps die many times, but not the well. Well, I was thinking it was going to be just a couple $1,000s, but apparently a well pump is a very sophisticated piece of equipment. So the cost was very very high, and I will not be participating in buying from the Jiggy's Art Drop this weekend because of that. But the Hangman is yep, totally. But again, wait till you see what's going to be there. Wait till you see what's going to be in his art drop. You don't miss it. It's really cool. It's the only one piece that he showed me. So all right. So outside of that, I wanted to rehash some of the stats from Comic Art Live. And yeah, well, pumps are pricey. That is true. The pump itself was over $3,000, and then I had to replace the holding tank too, which it wasn't cheap either. So yep, live and learn. I mean, now, but hey, I got 20 years out of it, and it apparently was the original. This house was built in '79. So to have that well pump last over 40 years is, I mean, the guy came in and he's like, I've never seen one of these in 17 years. So I clearly got my money's worth out of it. All right. So, gosh, you guys. All right. So let me give you some stats on the show. I know I read off some stats after, at 7 p.m. when we did the recap on Sunday. And of course, yesterday I asked for feedback from sellers, but I also asked sellers to give me an update on any sales that they had zeroed out, or sales that it might have happened after the show where they had started the negotiating and it finished later, and a few other avenues. Asked commit artists how how they did on commissions, what the totals were there, and so I had lots of updates. I in fact had so far over $120,000 in sales added to the sales figures that I could track. So I thought that was, and that's about what has always happened. Either people zeroing them out or sales that get negotiated, they just draw out and they don't get done during the show. So, and then people don't go back and update their figures. But commission wise, I'm just kind of eyeballing it to see, but about $10,000 in reported commissions. I think that's actually a little bit higher than the last show. I know Mark Hay, if you got any, he's not responded back to me, and he always does really well during the show. But the artists that did offer commissions, by and large, did pretty good. So I was happy about that. Always want to support the artists. That's why we put those options in there, so that people should go out, get some commissions lined up, and that was and at least that happened. So let me show you some stats here. With the adjusted numbers from people who followed through with me after the fact, these are the total sales: $1.138 million in total sales for the show, which I believe after I think when all was said and done with the May show, we were just at 1.2. So we're pretty much in the same spot. And and again, we had competition from the LA show. We also had competition from Thought Bubble. So I'm pleased, because I was expecting a downturn. I was expecting to have to be talking about how we weren't going to be doing these twice a year anymore. We were going to switch it to once a year. So I'm still on the twice a year bandwagon, just because I think the sales are there, and I know everybody has a good time with with everything, as do I. Let's see. Alberto says he spent way too much money on CAF Live. Now I can't get. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Tell your son I'm sorry. Can't help it though. Let's see. All right. So Jason says the LA show was no competition at all. I actually have got no feedback from that. I saw some photos from the show, but I really did not get any pros and cons. It didn't sound like it was a very big show. I mean, but again, I don't know how the heck. I mean, with that, the fact that I didn't even know the show was going on until about 2 weeks before the show happened, it just shows you they don't. I don't know what kind of mailing alerts he does. You would think I'd be on them, but I just don't think they do enough to promote that show, and they definitely don't want to be on the same weekend as Comic Art Live next time. So let's see. Ardeth thinks that there might be a lot of trades. There are some trades. I can tell you that, but by and large, I'd say the majority of all of these sales are indeed cash sales, because and I wanted to show these other figures too. So as from the sales, and again, this stuff doesn't count with the adjusted figures. The art dropped on Saturday, of course, was the main seller. 850,000 of the sales recorded occurred from art that dropped on Saturday. 445 pieces of the roughly, I think it was around 3,500 pieces that dropped on Saturday. And then with the Sunday drop, 194 of those roughly 1,600 pieces were sold for 164,000. And Rept Art drops on Saturday only, if you didn't know that. And so I have that as a third item in there. So as far as Rept Art goes, and that by and large, I think was all Mark Hay, that was 8,430 in sales. So then, and why I'd say by and large, most of these things are not trade, they are indeed probably cash. I mean, even though you've got 42 sales that make up half of the overall sales there, because they're $5,000 and higher, the brunt of the the other half of the sales is all lower end stuff. So I just don't think too hard that many people are going to be doing lots of trading. Although, I can tell you that from the replies that I got, and I got about 32 replies from exhibitors, I think 3 or 4 of them mentioned that there was some trade involved in some of the, in 1 or 2 of the transactions that were done. Let's see. So it does happen. So, and Victory, I'm glad that you mentioned that you don't go to shows. You really enjoy these. I actually have heard that from, I've gotten that feedback from several people. couple newer collectors that say they've never been to shows to buy artwork, and this is their only outlet, and they wouldn't have it any other way. And I think that's pretty cool that, at this day and age, something like this, is something that the kids gravitate to, right? Or new collectors. So I'm happy. I think that Comic Art Live has made an impact on the hobby in a very positive way, and I'm glad that that we can, I don't know, we can keep making these things happen and make everybody and have a new and different outlet for their enjoyment of the hobby. Let's see. So the next slide. So anyways, but you can see there's a lot of sales on the low end. There always is. I think there was a total of 650 recorded sold items. So half of the sold items were $500 or less, and but made up less than 10% of the overall sales. So, I mean, this is about what I would expect. Let me look at the next slide, because I think I've got some more interesting data over there. Yeah, so there you go. Now you can see the total art available was just under 5,000. The total art available in the May show was 4,960. So it's pretty much even with the May show. Repped art being just a small portion of it, as always. And from the artwork sold, now I should have listed the hauls here, but you can see, and I've always said this is a collector show by and large. Of the sales, there were 650 recorded sales, 450 or 656 now, because that was an updated figure. Some people went back in and modified and updated a few of their lots to sold. 459 of the sales were from collectors, and they accounted for $785,000 of the total sales. Dealers sold just over 100 pieces for $171,000 in sales. And repped artists, as we already know, that lines up with the other figure, 8,430. And then the people who were classified as comic artists in the Artist Alley section sold 79 pieces for a total of $58,000. So by and large, I mean, it's all good. And I'm basically adjusting the number sold up to 700 with the figures that I've gotten from everybody else. So at that rate, it's a 15% sell rate. And I think that that's average for what the past shows have done, and is pretty darn good, because you will never find an in-person show where anyone will come close to any rep or dealer is going to come close to 2% sales of what they bring. So I think the limitations on the number of pieces that people can bring is good, and that's what keeps the sell rate high. I mean, there were several sellers that only sold one or two. A few people sold nothing. They only brought like 2 to 5 pieces. The Andy Fish and Veronica, they I don't know how many total they had, but they brought, I believe, 48 pieces and sold more than 3/4 of them. And I know they got a lot of commissions, so they had a pretty good show. I don't know if it was better than their last show, because they had a tremendous last show, but I know they did really well with this one. And I know Albert had some good sales. Dino had some great sales, of course. And so again, by and large, I'm pretty happy with the sell rate for this for the show. And I agree. Yeah, Jason, Artist Alley did good. I want more artists to participate. I mean, so I would encourage everybody going forward that when I announce the dates for the May show, please let the artists that that maybe you've got a commission going on with, or you're just friends with, let them know the show's going on. I mean, you figure, I think we only had a dozen artists in Artist Alley. There's no reason why we don't have 50 artists in Artist Alley for this show, because it will just make the show a whole lot more fun. And if we can give them 2 or 3 months advance notice, maybe they can get some pre-drawn work done, and that'll just make the show all the better. So yeah, let's see. Artist says that he picked up via trade. Yep, that's prices are crazy. Completely agree on that one. Where's the Dino emoji? Dang it, I got to make a note of that. Thanks for reminding me. All right, Dino emoji. Yeah, now Dino's earned his emoji many times over. So yes, right. And I'm totally there too. I mean, I want everybody to win during the show, of course. And sorry, I was highlighting the wrong one there, but no offense to everyone. I get it, Alberto. I mean, I do want everybody to to do well. I mean, at the end of the day, if a segment of the sellers don't do well, they won't come back, right? So at the end, I want everybody to have a good show, and I think the artists did really well. But we need to do better as far as getting more artists into the show, and I need to have more advanced notice who's going to be in the show. And I should be able to I should be pushing out more of those like tab bulletins, a couple weeks in advance. So I've got to do a better job of getting these things lined up and know who's going to attend so I can help. Um, yeah, Marcus and the money. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so yes, I'm with you on all of that. And I did have one other slide from the show. This kind of just breaks it down. Now, I don't believe that 23 animation pieces sold for that. I have a feeling that the default art type defaults to animation, and that's why that number is where it's at. Sorry, I got a drink of water here. But this breaks down all the sales from the show by art type. And I should have ordered it maybe by top sales, but it's pretty clear. Interior pages, of course, 417,000 leading the charge. And what do we got next? We've got splash pages at 208,000, covers at 215,000. So it just kind of breaks down things for you. I mean, I know you can't write out all this, but I think it just tells you where the sales are happening and sort of what does sell and what isn't of interest. I mean, I don't think there were a lot of comic strips, for instance, brought, and that's probably lends itself to why the sales were low. Same with color guides, of course. Just looking at the data as far as all the rest of the stuff. I mean, it's all pretty much in line with what you'd expect, but again, I thought it would be interesting for everybody to see which categories were the most popular in sales, and the more data you have, the better off you'll be. That's the way I look at it. I save all this and I do use it for later, as just to kind of help me figure out what sells. And I probably should use that to educate the exhibitors prior to booth setup or during the booth setup period. And this time around, a lot of feedback I got. Some people didn't realize that they could set up their Sunday booths all the way up until 10 a.m. on Sunday. I do try to push those important times out to everybody who is exhibiting, just to let them know that, it was built that way because, we wanted to have the second day art drop, but also we didn't want to force everybody to have to get all their work done by Saturday at that 10 a.m. cutoff time, which I think we did the first time we did that, which would have been a year ago in that November show. We cut both days off, and that was a mistake. So I learned from that, but people still weren't aware of that. Maybe it was first-time exhibitors. I don't know. But Mike, you mentioned the Oming panel. That was a great one too. And I do know that all of the people who bought art at that got everything as of, I believe, early this week. So that was good. Our turnaround time working with Talent Talk that time was really good. Very pleased with the way that one went. And it was plenty more planned. And I should pull up this slide here. While this is the Dueling Dealers upcoming schedule, that I've got listed on here the special art drops and things that we'll be doing. I've got the next comic art sale, of course, on Saturday. Next Monday is the Dueling Dealers for that week at 9 p.m. It's going to be a $2,000 or less show. We just wanted to stay away from the holiday as best we could, so we wanted to have another. Because I think it's going to be rounds 1 through 6 will be 1,000 or less, and then 7 through 12 2,000 or less. Then the following week we will finally have a regular show for consecutive weeks on the 1st and the 8th of December. And so regular being our regular price tiers with the 15 rounds. I know a lot of people are anxious to see more regular shows out of us, so we are at least getting back to that with those. Then the two other sales shows I've got coming up is on the 4th. You can see I've got the show with Neil Adams, which I'm looking forward to at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And then on the 11th, I've still got to go back to Greg Hillebrand and talk to him, but he told me about 10 days ago he's still on track to be ready for that show. So we'll see. I've got him on the 11th. And then I am actually talking with 3 different artists that should be ready in January. So I believe we'll be doing some Saturday sales shows with them. I'm not going to mention any names for those shows yet. And there are, let's see, what else was there? Oh, and like I mentioned, there something interesting I might be doing with Albert, but I know Albert's schedule is really busy. I'm talking with him tomorrow, but he brought something to my attention that he asked about doing another one of those members only art drops with me. And I know that they're not super popular with some people who don't want to be members of the channel, but we're going to be talking about it because it's a very good idea and some great art. It's just a question of when we're going to be able to do it. I don't know if that would end up being a Saturday show or if we would do that I believe we did that on Monday the last time we did the Bruce Timm drop. It's not a Bruce Timm drop, by the way. So we'll work that out. I'm going to talk with him what his preferences are. I kind of think a Saturday would be good just because it would open up to our European friends. But if that's not conducive for Albert, we'll do it again on a Monday night. But yes, it should be very good. So let's see. I saw a couple other things. Let's see. Jason mentioned that he enjoyed the 4C dueling panel. Yep, that's very true. And Harry, you got your Oming. All right, that's because you were in New York. So Matthias actually met you. Very good. He told me that one person he could hand deliver the artwork to. So I'm glad to hear that. And I should round this out by saying after that, the show on the 8th, that's a regular show. On the 15th, I don't know. I wrote down Royal Rumble. I know that Jordan had some Hawaiian Rumble name, I think, that we were thinking about. But on the 15th of December, that Wednesday, is a special Dueling Dealers episode. It's a tag team, battle royale, whatever you want to call it. Dino and Jordan versus Mike and Anthony, and it's going to be fun. I mean, we could probably almost say we don't even need to play any memes because we're probably going to be laughing from start to finish and having a good time and seeing some amazing artwork from those four guys. But it's definitely going to be a very fun show. I'm probably looking forward to that more than I've looked forward to any of the special shows we've put on in a while, just because I know, Dino and Jordan are great together. We know that. We've seen them on 2 amateur shows, and with Mike and Anthony as well. I mean, I'm ready to play host and referee for that one, and it's going to be great from the top rope. Exactly. So let's see. No, fantastic on that. But yeah, so I highlighted. Somebody wanted me to. I got a few emails about a certain thread that was on CGC, and talking about barring dealers and stuff from buying it. The Dueling Dealers episode. So since I was talking about the schedule, I thought I'm not going to pull up any of the names and particular comments about it, but it's worth. I'm not going to comment on their thread either. I think I wasn't really even clear what some of the focus was on part of that, but there was the general theme of the thread was dealers should be banned from being able to buy in live claim shows, and it had something to do actually with one of our shows when Rich Donnelly picked up something for Mike. And, I mean, I understand that, but I think that, and this the reason why I probably should comment on it, but I'm not. I'm going to comment on it here just to say that, at the end of the day, our shows are art drops. At least my show, the arts are art drops. Just like as if you were doing if Mike was doing an art drop on his site, if Felix was, if anybody was, when we do these shows, they are, they're an art drop. And when you are buying at a Felix art drop or an Albert art drop, you're competing against dealers all the time. I mean, I don't understand why claim the thought that claim sales should bar dealers from participating, because you just don't know you're competing against dealers during every other dealer or reps art drop. It's happening all the time. And right, and James, like you just mentioned there are not as many instant claims anymore. So normal collectors have a chance every show, and dealers are collectors too. That's very true. I mean, I can only think of like 2 dealers whom I don't feel are collectors. I mean, so 98% of the dealers out there are collectors as well, and everyone has and should have the same opportunity to buy. I just think that that's just a kooky philosophy. I mean, I don't fault the person for feeling that way. I mean, sometimes you just feel like, I mean, I get it. I get disappointed when I miss out on certain things. Yeah, Jason, that was fair game, but the Dino one was the tough one, and but what are you going to do about that? at the end of the day. That's, the thing is, I equate what happened with Dino to the art drop that I did with Felix during the show for Ryan Stegman, right? He had 11 pieces. If I would have done those lots in order, somebody would have been emailing Felix the moment I said, the moment they see the flash of a slide coming up. And that was going into it. I said, Felix wanted to do it live in the chat. And I said, we're not doing it live in the chat. We're going to show a slide, and we're not going to show these lots in order either, because that's going to prohibit people from being able to just keep shooting him an email in advance of those pieces coming out. So, but I equate it to that. When people know there's good art and and know where the price point is, especially after the first couple ones, if you know you're going to get a decent Ryan Stegman for under $800, you're just going to buy them sight unseen. So yeah, it's definitely, a part of the, it's part of how to come up with a way to go about having a fair play and even playing field for everybody. And yep, dealers are part of the, of course. But remember, I mean, and because again, really that's really only one of the points that was in that CGC thread, and if you want to read it, you could. It's time to bar dealers from buying in YouTube claim shows was the subject. Not a lot of comments in there, but the usual riffraff come in and then say, one guy who's the usual commenter that I don't have any don't put a whole lot of value in. This guy said, undermines trust. Really trust dealers to do what? Not try to get the best price they can. This is a rigged market, at least at the higher end. Dealers buying and selling the same pieces with a markup just makes it glaringly obvious. Those claim shows just boil down to free advertising and a way to boost prices with extra visibility. And of course, they go on to say how dealers are price fixing and all this other garbage, which, I mean, no offense. At the end of the day, we have to think about it. Mikhail mentions that this is an ecosystem, right? We could say there's 350, 400 comic art reps or dealers out there, and the number's probably bigger. But if we want to talk about people who are steadily, regularly in the business, I'd put the number somewhere around there. And then, but how many collectors? 20, 25,000. So collectors, dwarf the number of dealers that are out there. And collectors have the same motivation to buy and sell at high prices as well, or buy low, sell high. And there's more, there's more, because the things that were talked about in that thread are like, oh well, essentially any of these dealers that are in the show are there to boost each other's sales, like there's some kind of conversations going on ahead of them. And in Dueling Dealers, I mean, I barely get to see the art at all. I mean, my daughters make the slides, and Mike and Anthony don't talk, so there's no like, hey, let's get these pieces together and we're going to price them like this. The goal of the show is, at least, I can only really talk about my show, of course, but it's not like that at all. And I don't know what Will and Glenn and Bashar do, but I can't imagine that they coordinate that much. Maybe there's some, but I don't know. But I could, at least with us, we don't talk about the show and what's being sold at all. We talk about the memes, what we want to film for the show to make it funny. But the same thing goes. But think about it. I mean, I know this. We all know this. I mean, dealers talk about how to. I'm not going to, hey, I'm not going to compete on this piece with you. Well, collectors do the exact same thing. So collectors have the same motivations. They want to buy low too, in whatever way they can, whether it's going in for group buys or it's agreeing not to compete on a similar piece. So collectors are dealers at the same time. They have the same motivation to make money. And I'm not. So the thing is, we can talk about all these things, but it's the people that sit there and say that it's just this one group that's the problem. I mean, there's no problem because everyone's doing it, and it's just the way that the hobby, that is the ecosystem and how things get done. I mean, show me a collector, because they make it sound like, well, we as collectors, if we can buy a $5,000 piece for $4,000, but we needed to sell it tomorrow, that we're just true to heart and we're going to sell it for $4,000. Like hell, we're going to put it in Comic Art Live for $5,500. And but they make it sound like, oh, these dealers are just the scum of the earth and are the problem with the hobby. Well, everyone's part of the problem. But the bigger part of the problem are the people who spread falsehoods, like some of those people in that thread. So at the end, but like I say, dealers are all collectors. So I think we're all in the same mix. Everybody wants to buy low and sell high when it comes time to selling, and a lot of collectors don't sell. So, but that to me was I just wanted to get that out there. I know everybody knows that, the way we run our show, but you know, I don't know. I was trying to remember. There was actually another point in there, but yeah, the one guy's talking about, oh, you should have antitrust laws against it. Well, come on, dude. You're don't tell me that he's not part of the problem too. But he just wants to be able to point fingers at the people who go out of their way to run a business around it. So so flipping is okay, but claiming it's not. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Bootlegging, what you do about it, keep your eye on who you choose to do business. Yeah, even if, yeah, exit. Well, let's see. CDC Forum, not big fan. Yeah, well, of course not. They're not big fans of anything that I know of other than complaining. By and large, I know a lot of you guys are on it too, and I know I look at it. I just don't participate in it. Right? And I agree, Mickey. You can't. How can you define anybody that buys or sells? I mean, the thing that defines a dealer is, does he have a business name? I mean, not even like an official one, but does he have a website? That's how people can point out, like to point fingers. And I'm sorry, I can't read through all the chat here, but yeah, I read that kind of stuff, and it bothers me just because it's, it's not like what people like to make it out to be. Oh, the dealers set the prices. I mean, that's not really true. The buyers set the prices, people. And that was an art dealer that was saying that. Or was at least commenting on it. I just don't understand where the angst comes from. I mean, maybe it's just people need to have a venue to kind of just talk whatever they want to say, and it makes them feel better. But anyway, I thought there was one other point that I read through there that was worthwhile. But anyway, main thing being is, we don't do any pre-planning on anything, and the thing is, I don't think people really watch the show, because I mean, by and large, I think when most things sell in the recap, that gives people the opportunity to actually do a little bit of research in between the time it was presented, if it didn't sell, to figure out whether or not something is worth buying at that price. So I look at our stuff, and I think while maybe Anthony starts a little high sometimes, when it comes down to getting motivated to sell, I mean, the prices do end up going down a bit. That's right there. Yeah, Jason, there. That's what you say. I mean, buyers define the prices. I mean, you can come in there and with a pie in the sky price. I mean, and there were lots of, you could see a lot of that, in this past weekend show, right? Whether it was a dealer or a collector came in, with high hopes, and it's just the name of the game right now, especially when Bill, shill bidding can be an issue. And I'm sorry, what was that? What was that a comment to, Jason? Just because I've been talking so much, I'm not even sure what that was for. But all right, so it's okay to laugh at that threat, Jason. All right, yeah. It never hurts to ask. Plan is not to have fun like that. High hopes and stars. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I'm not sure about the shield bidding part, what that was a reference to. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, everybody is at this moment. Oh, dealers influencing pricing. Yeah, but that we know of some classic examples in the past where there was some shill bidding. There's none that I'm aware of anymore. I mean, shoot, I think at the end of the day, I mean, I'll even admit it. When I was an early collector, I remember putting some pieces on eBay, and they were like, the last day, and I'm like, oh my God, they're going low. And I'd ask, like, Cakes, can you bid on this for me? Because I can't believe it's not going to be there. And I'm admitting this to you guys. I mean, when I was first in the hobby, I mean, those kind of things scare you, right? And then they ended up not mattering anyway, because the pieces ended up getting sniped and going over way over what I thought they were going to be, and I shouldn't have even worried about it. But those fears drive people to do stupid things. Anything can happen. So everyone influences prices. Exactly, Nick. At the end of the day, isn't that is the truth. And if we weren't seeing all these crazy prices coming out of Heritage and Comic Link on a regular basis, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't. We simply wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. Because I actually had somebody show me something, that clearly not a market data subscriber. They're like, "What do you think this is worth?" And I looked at it and I thought it was maybe $2,500, but I pulled up market data and saw that the exact same piece had sold a year ago for $1,500. So I said, well, I was going to say $2,500. $2,500 might be, a fine spot for it. And then the person said, oh, I just spent $5,000 for it. Again, it's back to buyers being smart too. I mean, and this is, I thought, and to me, I actually thought this person was should have been smarter than that. But that's definitely, it just shows you that people who aren't who don't have advanced metrics that they can look at, whether it's our market data or they're doing some research. And this piece was sold by a dealer, so the only way anybody would have had any historical reference on that was if they had the market data on CAF, but for the sale that had happened last December. But yeah, it's that's where things are, that somebody can look at a page that I look at and think it's only worth $2,500 without having any knowledge, and they spent twice what I thought it was worth. And that's just crazy. But somebody sold them that. Somebody went to them and probably said they wanted 6 or maybe 7,500, and so they got them down to 5. They thought they were getting a deal. So it's where things are. So it's back to knowledge is power. Don't jump into anything. And I understand and I can tell you, when I think of it like that, that's the only thing that I feel a little like I'm doing something that's not maybe the greatest thing, when you're doing a claim sale show, because you're not giving people a lot of time to think about it. But if they don't want to buy it, they don't have to. At the end of the day, I look at it that way. And I feel that, and again, I think the recap does at least give people a chance to text their friend and ask them if they think this is a good buy, or if they need to go and look at market data, pull up Heritage, whatever their venue is to evaluate pricing. That the recap gives everybody that chance to go back and make an educated decision before they pull the trigger. And yeah, Nick, come on. I need some more likes here. So, right. Yeah. I'm just reading out the chat a little bit. But so anyway, that's all. So I never would reply to that thread on CGC, but that's, but I wanted to comment on here because people felt that it was directly talking about what we do on Dueling Dealers. And I don't see that as being, the case. And by and large, when you look at it, how often does a dealer really buy in that show? If you take out the Dino show, Glenn and Will and Rich, have they accounted for more than 3% of the buys on the show? We've had over, how many sales have we had on Dueling Dealers? We've had, wow. We have had almost 1,300 sales over the course of 45 episodes. And that doesn't include the amateur shows. So probably 1,500 sales total. And really, I bet you it's not over 50, the number of sales that have gone to original art dealers. So there you go. So it's not even a huge segment of the people buying. Thank you very much, West. That is appreciated. Moses Chef. Last week. Yeah. I'm glad. Oh man. All right. So there you have all that. That was just my thoughts on that that current thing. And again, a few people had asked me to comment actually on CGC, and I didn't want to do it there, but I did it here. So again, everybody should, now that Nick's here, Nick, I did mention the Indiegogo, so I want everybody to remember to support that before it goes away in a month. If you got here late, there's a cat. Yeah, and that's right. Thank you, Goo, for letting everybody know. If you got here late, there is a CAF shirt giveaway. I will give that. I'll draw the lucky winner, and I don't know, maybe. Well, I'm getting close to the end of my segment here, but yeah, you type !enter in the chat to get entered. Let's see. Right now, there are only 36 people are entered into the giveaway. So please get in there and add your name to the list so you can have a chance at winning another CAF or Comic Art Live shirt. So, so outside of all that, I didn't really see anybody commenting on the show in general, but if you have any feedback about the show, please do let me know on what ways you think we can improve on it. I actually did get some pretty good emails the last couple of days, and I'm gonna go over what my list was, because I do think it's important to let you know what I think is the most important things to try to get ready and completed for the next show. The main one being that while I will not show a exhibitor who has saved a piece of artwork in their favorite list, I do believe that what needs to be done is the exhibitor should have a means to market a message out to anybody who is, like, if they know 7 people have saved an artwork and they're going to lower the price on that artwork, that one of two things has to happen. Either I have to automatically send an announcement out to those 7 people who've saved it, letting them know that something has changed, maybe reshow all the art details, because who knows? I mean, I would assume a pricing change would be the only thing that would happen, but I should either do that automatically, or I should give the exhibitor a method to send an email out to those 7 people, not knowing whom they are. Again, I would not show who was saving them, but allowing to, being able to say, hey, I just dropped the price of this piece by 20%. So just to give the exhibitors an opportunity to remarket a liked item or a saved item, I think would be very beneficial and would definitely help sales for everybody. Let's see. I wanted to add this last time. I don't know how it fell off my list, but it was to add an odd hold option to the drop menu. That is when something's for sale or sold, because I think that putting something on hold is the right thing to do, because it lets people know that either you're trying to wrap up a negotiation. But the important thing that would still be allowed to happen is if something were on hold, you could still get an email inquiry about it, because the moment you mark it as sold, the exhibitor can no longer get an email inquiry about that particular artwork. So I think the on hold status would be good. I just want to make sure that, again, people follow the whole set, and if it does sell, they go back and mark it to sold when it finally happens. So, but I think an on hold status is definitely necessary. My biggest pet peeve, and I'm sure it is the biggest pet peeve of anybody exhibiting as well, has to be the lack of a WYSIWYG editor in all the description fields. So I plan on correcting that this time around, so you'll be able to, bold your own copy and underline and make a link if you want, all that sort of thing, because it's not a good system the way we have it now. All I can tell you is that when I implement the WYSIWYG editor, it is going to make a mess of whatever is in those description fields. So it's really the only description field you have is your booth description. But I will guarantee that anybody who has a booth that goes back to edit their next booth, once that text editor is in there, will have to modify their booth description, because it'll be an absolute disaster with when I add the editor to it. And then the other one that I never thought of before, but I think Ankur actually mentioned this one, was to include a not safe for work option on the thumbnails. So it wouldn't work like we use it today, where we make a whole room be restricted. It would have to be at the piece level, and it would allow us to show a not safe for work thumbnail rather than the topless, Frazetta or whatever was out there that would offend some people. I don't know if I'd carry it further to be like, okay, and then when you click on it, you have to confirm that you want to see it. No, if you see a thumbnail that says not safe for work and you choose to click on it, you're going to get the image. I don't think we'd have to worry about anything being pornographic, but you know what you're going to get if you're clicking on something along those lines. The beaded curtain. Yes, something along those lines. But it's definitely needed, and it was something that I had not ever thought of before. So those are the main things. But I did, like I said, I got 3 very lengthy emails today by exhibitors who weren't mad, but they had a lot of suggestions on how I can improve a few things. So we're gonna look at those, and honestly, I think Maureen and I'll probably work on the code now while it's fresh in our minds, because that's the problem. We take really 5 months off, and then we're trying to get ourselves back in gear, and it's always trying to remind ourselves what needed to get done and how certain things work, because we don't write a manual when we do these things. So we'll definitely, I think, start working on this soon. And Gu just mentioned, do you think that sellers are open to offers? Absolutely. Well, that's why we leave the saved art list is still available underneath the Comic Art Live menu over on CAF. So if you saved any artworks, go back and you think, hey, you got some extra money, you want to go check it out, Now you can't get back into their booth, but their name, the art owner's name is underneath the thumbnail, and that now links to their CAF gallery. So you can go back and contact them and see if a piece is still available. I actually had about 5 people contact me after the show who forgot to save things, said, I don't remember who the seller was, but can you find this piece? So I helped push people to a few sellers after the fact. And as Mikhail mentioned or replied to Goo, he sold a piece today. That was a follow-up as well. And Mikhail also mentions that he bought a piece today that was on CAFCon. So yeah, the sales keep happening. That's the thing. I mean, the goal was always, with the limitation on the booth pieces for that show, we really wanted it to serve as a sales tool to push people into your CAF gallery. That's why the CAF classifieds link is there when you're in an exhibitor booth, so people get driven around a bit more. And no, you should never be too sheepish to make an offer. I mean, at the end of the day, somebody can just tell you no. It happens. But if you ask Albert Moy for free shipping, I guarantee you he'll tell you no. He turns me down. But yeah, when you want to make an offer on something, people by and large are used to it. Just don't make an embarrassing one. If a piece is $1,000, don't offer the seller $400, right? I mean, there's some pieces that are just not worth making an offer on. If you feel it's worth 400, I mean, maybe you just go and be like, I'm gonna throw it at them because that's where I feel I'm at. But you pretty much can guarantee that somebody asking for $1,000 is not gonna. They probably won't even reply. But if they do, they might be snarky and say, I mean, you're not even close, kind of a thing. So sometimes offers aren't worth being made. But sure, if you're, I think, sometimes a 40% under offer is fine if they're going for pie in the sky, or 20% is always fair. Yes, exactly. What is your best price? I know I've got a lot of concept ideas for all these sayings that we've got out there now. Let's see. Yes, a ray of sunshine. At times it can be, Jason. So all right, but yeah, so that's the main stuff there. I'm gonna, if I do come up with anything else related to updates that I want to make to the show that I think are worth talking about, I'll carry those over into the next week's show. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna. Next week, of course, is Thanksgiving, right? So I'm not, Thursday night probably won't work. I don't know if I'd rather do that on Friday night, maybe. I mean, that's Black Friday. Probably not the best night to do it either. But Thursday night is definitely out. I mean, I'm going to my mom's house so we'll work. Let's see. Who is Cool Lines, Bill, and are they real? Cool Lines are the Donnellys. They are Steve and Rich Donnelly. They've, they used to advertise and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I think that when they had their comic shop back in the day, I mean, they advertised in all the early Overstreet guides too. I just don't remember the name of their shop, but yeah, they've been around for a very, very long time. They have a reputation of not pricing their artwork, and that's kind of been their philosophy forever. You have to make an inquiry, and then maybe they'll reply with a price or not. Tends. That's just kind of how they are. They are at most major shows. They set up at San Diego and New York every year. They also set up at several small shows on the West Coast. They are based in San Francisco. They, as somebody mentioned, even in that thread that I was mentioning, they are like most dealers. They are very true collectors. They have their passions. They are passionate about early X-Men, or all X-Men, if you want to look at it like that. I mean, they have an amazing collection of that isn't posted anywhere of early, say Cockrum, Byrne X-Men. I mean, and Rich has a great collection of artwork in that area. It's much to Jason and my disdain, because they just have a lot of great stuff. But yes, they are legit. They are just sometimes a little bit hard to pin down. I think sometimes I've heard people say they have a better time negotiating things with them in person. So shows are probably a better place to get things done with them. Email might be a little bit slow, and I mean, there's times I email them. I built their site many years ago. I wish they'd let me redesign it. But so I've worked with them in that capacity for 13 or 14 years. And sometimes they kind of disappear on me for a few months when I'll ask them a question about something if they need help on something. And Mikhail, ouch, Mikhail. They bought a piece from Mikhail at 2,000 and listed it for 14. See, that's that wishful thinking. And yes, passion defined. And all right. See, all right. You guys are defining certain things better than I am, but that's because they don't want to let them go. They are they are collectors, and and that's their way. Man. So yes, the short answer is yes. They are dealers, and they've been dealers for a very, very long time. And I wish I could remember the name of their shop. That was always in the price guides that I would pick up in the 80s. I think it began with a C. Was it like Cascade of Comics or something? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyway, looking at my list here, I'm going to get a Dino emoji before the next Dueling Dealers episode. I promise that. So outside of that, I don't think I've got a whole lot to cover tonight, everybody. I hope you if you were buying in the Comic Link auction, I hope you got something. If you bought the cover to the Indiegogo campaign, I hope it ends up in your CAF gallery. And please support that. I will send out reminder emails about it, and I'll keep pestering everybody here as well. But again, it's something fun, just like the trading cards that we've been pushing out, and some of the other things that we've got going on. We're just looking to keep everybody happy and reveling in all the fun that we've been having here on the channel. And that's true. Comic Connect really hasn't pushed me. I've got to write that down. I don't know why they sometimes Comic Connect. Write that down. Thank you for the reminder on that, Samuel. Let's see. Bootlegging. What did you say? Did a masterful trade with Rich D. Yeah. It can happen. I know that. Rich is big on trading. I mean, he always has been, and I've seen him do a lot of deals at some of the bigger shows. So it's just it's there as collectors. Trading sometimes works a lot easier for everybody, right? They always had ads in. Okay, so Jason thinks that they were in the Comic Buyer's Guide too. Yeah, I'm going to go check out some of my overstreets just to see. But all right, so I think, like I say, I'm going to call it a show here, even though we're only at an hour and 22 minutes. I think I need to pick a winner. And here, I'll just show you. Let's see, what do we got? We got 45 people in the contest. And I don't think that if I share the screen, it's going to show you anything special, because I know it's going to shout it out in the chat when it happens. But see, all I do here, just so you know how I do it, like you can see, everybody's name is in the giveaway list. And all I do is click pick winner, and the winner is selected. And there you go. You can see even right there, it says TMD1. And it should announce it in the chat, I think, too, right? And there you go. At TMD1 has won the t-shirt giveaway. And it's like the tie shirt giveaway, whatever that is. I guess I can't spell tonight. All right. Congratulations to TMD1. Shoot me an email. TMD1, Bill at comicartfans.com, and I will get you, send you a link to the store. You get to pick out which shirt you would like to get. All right. Well, yeah, I should have done that a little bit earlier, but no, that's good. So again, I didn't have a whole lot going on this week that I wanted to cover, but I'm sure next week we'll have a lot more to talk about. And like I mentioned, on what do we got? Wednesday is going to be the Heritage update. So definitely my CAF update won't be Wednesday. I haven't scheduled anything yet for Tuesday yet. So maybe I might do the CAF update on Tuesday. It'll either be Tuesday or Friday. So I'll kind of look at the schedule. I did actually want to do an interview. I'm kind of jonesing to talk to somebody. It's been about 3 weeks since I've had a collector interview. So I've got at least a dozen people I can email. So I might start shooting out some emails, seeing who might be free, and do a interview on. No, you're quite welcome, TMD. TMD1. It's our pleasure. So I'll let everybody know, hopefully by Sunday at the latest, what what the schedule will be. But again, don't forget about Saturday, and more importantly, don't forget about tomorrow, because tomorrow is Nick Barucci's next the EXP art show sales at 7 p.m. and I've got Nick's preview for that. So I'm glad everybody's still here watching. I'm going to play that promo right now.
Everybody, this Friday, November 19th, 7 p.m. on the Original Art Experience, we have some great artwork, as we always do. So we're going to get right into it, because I can just go on and on and on. Oh yeah, I just did. So we're going to go right into it, and let's talk about the art. We have some bad boys, like The Boys issue 50 by Ross Braun. We also have some good girls, like Steve Epting and Rick Magyar Crux art. We also have Eddie Barrows, Superman. We have one of my favorite artists, and I always talk about it, Jim Aparo. And this one is going to be so affordably priced. I know it's going to sell, and I'm going to miss it. Nightwing by Mike Lilly, a beautiful 2-page spread. We are bringing back Green Lantern 180 by Luke Ross. We will also have this Incredible Hulk 2-page spread by Ron Garney, inked by Sal Buscema, plus a Spider-Woman origin page by Tom Rainey, and Hawkeye number 3, page 1, also by Tom Rainey and Scott Hanna. That is this Friday at 7 p.m. only on The Experience. Hope to be seen then. Have a great one, all. And please hit that thumbs up button and share. Sharing is caring. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all.
Ain't it the truth? Sharing is caring. So hit that thumbs up button right now if you haven't already. And and people coming here, I never tell anybody, but yeah, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell right next to the button when you subscribe, so you can get notifications when we're doing live broadcasts of any kind. Yeah, Rainy Rules. Yeah, there was a lot of good art there. Exactly. And Jason was eyeing the Hulk DPS. See, something in there for everybody. I actually like the boys art, and then I see Mikhail says nice boys as well. So yep, nice selection as always, Nick. So tune in tomorrow on the EXP, both on Facebook or YouTube, whichever you prefer, at 7 p.m. and you can check Nick out and all the art that he's got for sale. So all right, I think I'm going to call it a night. I've got a early morning tomorrow. I got some work to do. So if again, anybody who wants to shoot me any extra feedback about the show or thoughts on how to make it better, please do so. And because this is the time to do it, when we're still thinking about it and making a task list here. I definitely want to make the next show in May better as best I can. And please support the Indiegogo. I put the link back in there, and buy a comic. And if you get the signed one, that's fine. If not, I'll sign one for you next time I see you at a show. You know how that goes. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. And again, please, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, the show with Next Comic Art, tune in. It'll be a very good time, I promise you, and a lot of great art to check out as well. So have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you on Saturday.